Uyehova ngumelusi wami, angikwesaba lutho, ngoba intonga yakho iyangithuthuzela. Oh, winene ndamulandela ngokuhle, ngokubomi bami, yebo intonga yakho iyangithuthuzela. Oh, with every yummy apalala, then the healing tonga ya, indonga ya, indonga ya, yangi tututela. Oh, yoga, if you utan no makuchani. No ma setiamba etunzi no ma Otogaya madoda senzeni na amehla magelezi
Rufaro, how are you?
Izwe yami yathuthumela ubuhlungu yaphukile kanti madoda senzeni na masihlangana nana sazi senze njani na sibaleke sime sibulise sicela uxolo senze njani na kwenze njani na siyini isizathu sokuthi nisibulale senzeni na mathe ngibheka indlela engigqoka ngayo ngiqaphelile kodwa ngidlwenguliwe mathe ngihambile kude nani bengikude ngijahiwe ngaficwa ngibulewe mathe ngithola i-protection order benginawo ngihluku ngibulewe mathe ngifunda ukuzivikela ngizivocavocile kodwa ngihluku ngibulewe mathe ngaphuza utshwala bengingaphuzile ngihluku ngidlwebuliwe mathe ngingamlwisa ngimlwisanga ngimncengile kodwa ungibulele abanye bathe angolwa ngizamile ngilwile ngikhalile ngizabalazile ngithandazile ngimemezile kodwa angizwakalanga ngidlwenguliwe ngabulawa ngacuywa kwenze njani na madoda senzeni na uma icala lethu kungukuba ngabantu besifazane sitsheleni senze njani na uma kungungabi namandla sitsheleni siwathathaphi na uma sidaleke ngendlela engasiyo khuluma nodaleli nasilungise koze kube ninidlwengule nabantwana bethu nisibulela ngehluku ngilandiseni ngenjani injabulo eniyithola uma seniyifezile iy'njongo zenu ngonjani umuzwe niba nawo uma senikwenzile konke lokhu nishiya sidingilizile sihle sifile. Madoda kwenze njani na, senzeni na, ngimemezile ngikhalila ngizwakalanga. Namhlanje uboshiwe kusasa ungaphandle ngebhayili. Yebo umthethosisekelo uthi sonke sinelungelo lokuphila pho kungani thina besifazane kumele sibulawe kodwa umbulala sale ephila. Ngesinjani isizwe sakusasa esizoba naso uma njalo ngibona umbulala eseqeda isigwebo sakhe unoma kulahleka idokode ehamba ngaphandle. Bangaka abaphuma ejele baphinde babuyele kusho khona ukuthi ijele libasiza ngalutho. Basiza ngalo dilika jele abangamakhulu ngamakhulu uma kuzoba yini nentela yami engizokontrwa nginakekela umbulali. Kubuhlungu kuba ngowesifazane kulelizwe abantwana bethu sifisa nokubafihla. Abaphephile ngisho emndenini yethu noma abanye bethule kodwa kwaba lishumi abayisithupha besifazane badlwengula imihla namalanga abanye basinda ngokulambisa. Sikhalile simemezila zizwakalanga. Owethu uhulumeni esimkhethile akazwanga akasilalelanga. Mhlawumbe masingakhetha owesifazane uhulumeni kuyoba ngcono. Kuyona yonke imindeni elahlekelwe sikanye nani siyakhala ngoba namhlanje yibo kusasa yithi. Sizwe sama-Afrika vukani bhunkulani ihlome ihlasele ngezikhali zokukhola. Usizo lwethu luzovela kuJehova owenzile izulu nomhlaba. Madoda senzeni na, kwenze njani na, sinenzeni na. Rest in peace Uyinene. Rest in peace Ayaka Tshwane and your siblings. Ibhalosa neMajola. Madoda senzeni na, kwenze njani na, sinenzeni na.
It's exactly 44 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock. It's a great evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Mokete Radebe, your news pioneer. Tshwane FM 93.6 continues to be the station that rock you most. We thank you so much for your listening pleasure, and just a big shout out to our colleagues that started out this lovely train, earlier on this morning, just all the way to Drive. And here we are at this point in time, between 6 and 8 p.m. on the Capital Talk. We look at various matters that are quite critical to society, and I think just on the flip side of today's discussion, we're really looking at pressing matters in society, gender-based violence being at the top of that, and women are still suffering at the hands of Runaban, so to say. But yeah, man, I think it's a very, very sad thing that is happening in our society. Just looking at now on Twitter, I see there's actually Sunny Side trending there, and there's just a number of videos that are making rounds there. I'm not quite sure exactly what is happening there, but it appears as though that there's violence happening in Sunny Side, where apparently the abuse of poor by Sunnyside police. The poor girl was just sitting in the car waiting for her uncle, who was having a chat with a friend. So yeah, it appears as though that there's serious things that are happening in Sunnyside. There's actually violence happening in that area. So if you do know what's happening in that area and you are probably close to what's happening, give us a ring on 0123244936. That's where we can actually just engage with us. But yeah, man, I'm seeing a lot of videos there, the footage in terms of what is happening there. I'm going to just try and play this one where a lady is speaking there, just to hear what exactly is she saying there.
You failed.
Yeah, I failed. With the slut that I am. The slut that I am. You stop please sending me messages.
You failed.
Yeah, I failed to let you know that you must stop sending me messages on my personal WhatsApp. Send on the group chat like everyone else does.
I think as you can just hear in the background, this is a footage of a woman who appears to be forced to be making a video because a man has been sending him videos. It appears as though that this man is Temba, who beats up this lady after he forces him to tell the guys that are sending him private messages there. But yeah, man, the issue around gender-based violence is quite big. And I think maybe the fundamental question is how we deal with it is to first, touch on the very reasons that we think are are reasons enough for anyone to try and beat up another person. And I think once we deal with that, we'll probably have a better way of touching on this. But on the line, I'm joined by Mr. Aaron Moepa. He's from Kopanomanyalo to speak to us at this point in time. Aaron, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us, my brother.
Good evening, Mr. Radebe, Mokete. Good evening to the listeners of Tshwane FM.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's speak about gender-based violence. I think it's a very deep, long-standing, common problem in our society. It's not something that started after the World Cup year 2010. It's something that has been happening in our society. What do you think causes this challenge?
Yeah, well, this is Mr. Aaron from Kopanomanyalo. We are the NGO based in Pretoria, the CBD. Yes, gender-based violence is a long-standing problem. As you have actually just mentioned, it has been there for years. Actually, it didn't even start after 2010. It has been a problem in South Africa for quite a long time.
Sure, but what do you think continues to spiral this problem?
Yeah, well, there are so many driving forces towards gender-based violence in the country, which one of them. I will start with the root cause, which is the deep entrenched, societal norms that give men power to dominate over women. This issue of power, men were given more power by the society over women and children, as we are also saying. Not only, gender-based violence is not only affecting women, but children are affected either directly or indirectly.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And let's speak about now Kopanomanyalo in terms of what the work that you guys do. What exactly do you guys do, and how exactly is it impacting? Is it playing an impactful role, in the space, gender-based violence? What exactly do you guys do?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mokete. Kopanomanyalo, we are a gender-based violence organization. As I said, we are based in Pretoria CBD, and the organization was established in 2001 under the leadership of Pastor Catherine Mzala, who was actually a victim of gender-based violence, and she was able to overcome the abuse and ended up coming up with the organization called Kopanomanyalo. We are currently doing what we call victim empowerment program, and our program, this victim empowerment program, is aimed at assisting the victims of crime in the entry point, specifically at the police station site. We are based at 6 police stations in the city of Tshwane, which is Lodium, Atteridgeville, Pretoria Central, Sunnyside, Bonnerboom, and Silverton. And our role in those police stations is to do the emotional containment as the victims of gender-based violence reported their cases in those police stations. And we are also doing what we call a Mzala care program, which is actually based at the Lodium Community Health Center. And we have been actually running that program there specifically for the victims of sexual offenses and their families.
And how do you sort of get to identify these victims? Do you guys have it, a tracing sort of setup to identify these victims? And what's the first step that you guys do as a sense of, intervention, so to say?
Yeah, well, most of the victims that report to our victim empowerment centers, as well as the Mzala care centers, are referred mostly by the members of South African Police Services. And then for to Mzala care center program, they are referred by the local family violence, child protection, and sexual offences unit. And some of the victims are coming in. We usually call them the walk-in. They know about us. They come to our center and they report these cases related to gender-based violence. And lastly, we are also doing community outreach programs where we sensitize the community members about the gender-based violence in general. And we also encourage them during those campaigns to come forward and report to us. And from there, then we do a proper assessment and refer them to the relevant service provider for further assistance.
5:03 after 6 o'clock, Tshwane FM 93.6, and you are listening to the Capital Talk. On the line, Rebwali Ntate Aaron Mayepa is from kopanomanyalo to speak to us about gender-based violence, and also as we edge to the 16 days of activism against women and children, also the services that they provide them. But Aaron, let's speak about now the deeper social issues that are facing our society, because of, I think at the heart of this, we've seen the prevalence of young people as well, falling either becoming perpetrators of this violence that we've seen, or falling victim of that. And it also just raises another looming question, or that is a problem in our society, the question of inequality, where you find that because of young girls are poor, then they easily keep quiet if an abuser abuses them. And sometimes in some households, we found that, especially now speaking about, the violence against women and children, we find that because the father is the breadwinner, the mother and the child. What kind of intervention is provided in that regard?
Yeah, it's quite disappointing, like you're saying. The inequality in the society is one of those contributing factors. Where you'll find that Papa is the breadwinner in the family, and everyone, Mama and the kids, are relying on him for financial support. And if that man in the family abuses them, and then they end up, in most of the time, remaining silent, not wanting to report. Or even if they report him, along the line they come back to the police station and drop those charges against him. So, but the most important thing is that young women and women in general were not and are still not yet given opportunity to be economically independent, so that they can be able to deal with such a situation where they find themselves being abused because of the economic reason. So one of the things that we do is that as an organization, once we identify that the problem is more on economic issues, we can refer them to court to apply for maintenance against the alleged perpetrator, and we assist them through our court support program to make sure that the necessary documentations are completed. We also place them in shelters. We have got, I believe, 5 shelters in the city of Tshwane, which mostly they do have skills development center. We place them there together with their kids, and the mother will be able to attend, skills development of some sort, so that she can actually become economically independent after she has been exited from that particular shelter.
57 after 6 o'clock. Tshwane FM 93.6. And, I want to come into the fact that you guys are actually bringing solutions to the challenges that we're continuing to face. But Aaron, would you agree with me that largely the question, and I think not in so many ways, you did allude to the fact that the long-standing challenge of gender-based violence is the perception that has been, driven over the years, the perceived dominance of men over women, and I want to just jump into what are some of the traditional, stereotypes that you think needs to be challenged in order for this to come to an end?
Yeah, I think it's two ways when we look at that. As much as we're talking about the entrenched social norms that are condoning gender-based violence in general. The first one, we spoke about patriarchy, that as I'm speaking as a man, I was socialized that as a man, I don't have to cry, even if I'm actually experiencing any difficulty in life. And that actually, it robs me the opportunity for me to express how I feel as a man. If I'm hurt, they say don't cry because you're a man. And then on the other hand, we have got this a myth, if I may call it a myth, that says a man should always be a breadwinner. And that myth comes from the society. And with that particular myth, they put more pressure on us as men, even if we are struggling with the rate of unemployment in the country. We try by all means, to get something for us to make the ends meet. But if we don't get that, then we end up being frustrated. And instead of expressing our frustrations in a social acceptable manner, we end up channeling that into an anger towards our partner as well as our children.
5:09 after 6 o'clock. Tshwane FM 93.6. It is the station that continues to rock you most. On the line, we're speaking to none other than Mr. Aaron Maiba. Aaron, just as I let you go, your closing argument. So the listeners at home, I think the most important information is if I know that I'm one of the people that need your service and I've never been privileged enough to actually access this service, is there any social media platforms where we can get you guys? Any phone call, any numbers where people can call you?
Yes, we do have numbers that I will be sharing with your listeners. People can actually come to our offices. Firstly, we are at 6th floor, Aaron van Erkom building in Pretoria CBD. That's our head office. And we are also situated in the 6 police stations that I've actually mentioned. We are at Pretoria Central Police Station. We have got a team of social auxiliary workers, as well as the lay councillors at Pretoria Central Police Station, Actonsville, Silverton, Lothian, Sunnyside, and Bonnerbourg. Or they can even visit us at Lothian Community Health Care Center, which is at I think it's 25 Bengal Street in Lothian, and their number, which is a 24-hour land number, is 012-304-0063. That is the direct number for Lothian to the Mzala Care Center, 012-304-0063. And then our office line, 012-304-0295 or 0222. And we also have a cell phone number where the members of the community can call us, you can report, you can ask us to follow up, some of cases that we have opened on this number 068-554-0999. 9972. I repeat, 068-554-9972. Our email address is kopanomanyalo51@gmail.com. Our Facebook account is GoTheFounder 2019. Our Twitter account is kopanomanyalo @Catherine_Mohan1. And our website is kopanomanyalo, and they can actually get us through using those platforms.
Interesting. It's 2 minutes after 7 o'clock. Tshwane FM 93.6. It's exactly where we've been. And yeah, man, that is Ntate Arun Maipa speaking to us at this point in time. Arun, thank you so much for a lovely discussion here with us. We wish you a great evening, sir.
All right. No, thank you very much, Tshwane FM. Thank you very much, Mr. Mokete.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
It's 3 minutes after 7 o'clock. Tshwane FM 93.6 is the station that continues to rock you most. Gender-based violence is a big challenge in our society, whether it's verbally, emotionally, economically. Look, the exclusion of one gender to the other is as bad as the exclusion of one race to another. We cannot turn a blind eye. Tshwane, this is what we do. We become the voice to the voiceless. Levels of crime as well are increasing. Just in news as we were covering it yesterday, it appears as though that yesterday's incident where the road was closed, Costas actually road, it was actually a botched hijacking where an owner of a vehicle was actually, the person was shot dead and he lost control. So it is alleged that at this point in time, the suspicion is that it was a botched hijacking on that. If you do have information on that as well, you can just enlighten us, because this is just news that we are hearing. We don't really have the entire, proof in terms of what exactly might have happened in that regard. But yeah, it's 4 minutes after 7 o'clock. Tshwane FM 93.6 is the station where we are at this point in time. More discussions are coming, with the gentleman as we speak, gender-based violence, as we are edging to the 16 days of activism against women and children.
93.6. This your boy Drake.
Number one hit music station.
So your man's always getting on. 93.6. Hot new music.
Just like fire. What's up? This is Pink.
Tshwane.
I know that I'm running out of time. Just like fire. Turning up the wall. All hits, all day, and it's all yours.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love music.
Best music. Your station. Your music. We have ignition. Strap in. You're about to listen to the hottest sound. In your face.
That's Cap City's #1 radio station.
The fact that you took a shower after having unprotected sex with an HIV positive woman, believing that it would minimize your risk, has really angered AIDS activists. What is your response to their criticism?
But if we have been in the kitchen, my dear, peeling onion, you wash your hands, not so. What's funny about washing your hands after doing something, after washing yourself? What's the problem?
But Mr. Zuma, AIDS is a big problem in this country. And saying things like
and
taking a shower.
Hygiene is a big problem in this country. Clean yourself.
16 minutes after 7 o'clock, and that's exactly where we are. Mtshwane FM 93.6, just also looking at news that are making the headlines. Now, police in Gauteng are appealing to the public to come forward and report any information regarding a shooting in Omonde on Wednesday afternoon. A silver vehicle was shot at several times on the M1 bridge near the Xavier Street off-ramp in what appeared to have been a hit. And the police said that the preliminary investigation revealed that a group of unknown men opened fire on 3 occupants, killing 2 and severely wounding another. It is understood that the gunmen were on the run at this point in time. Meanwhile, as rush hour traffic picks up, the Johannesburg Metropolitan spokesperson Xolani Fihla urged motorists to use alternative routes in that space. In the Western Cape now has over 10,000 active cases of COVID-19. Now, according to yesterday's data, 750 more people have contracted the virus, while the province has seen a resurgence of COVID-19 in recent weeks, with Cape Town and the Garden Route reporting rising infection rates. Premier Alan Winder today engaged in the President's Coordinating Council on COVID-19. The Premier has not revealed much from the meeting with the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, but maintains that the Western Cape does not support a lockdown being imposed on the province. Instead, Winde said that targeted interventions based on science and common sense would help to flatten the curve. However, the ANC's Cameron Dagmo said that Winde's messaging was confusing. He added that curfews and limiting the sale of alcohol must be considered. 28 more people have died of COVID-19 in the Western Cape, bringing the total to just under 4,700 deaths. Over 1,200 people infected are in hospital, of which 209 are in ICU or high care. Very alarming indeed. Lawyers representing Finance Minister Tito Mboweni today said that the Labour Appeal Court was obliged to rule that 2018 public sector wage agreement was invalid. They are opposing the application by trade unions in the sector, who are requesting the court to force government to implement the agreement that would hike workers' salaries by up to 5.4%. Advocate Jeremy Guntlet said that the wage deal did not comply with the Public Service Act regulations, which require, among others, that National Treasury should sign off collective bargaining agreements. He said that the unions were approaching the matter narrowly by arguing there was a contract between workers and the employer, whereas if the act was applied, the court would find that the government was well within its right not to implement the deal. And Treasury is on a cost-saving mission, with the public sector wage bill being the anchor of this plan, as it hopes to cut around 160 billion from it in the next 3 years. However, unions are adamant that government should have played open cards from the onset. Very difficult. Shoo. Here's another one. Gauteng Premier David Makhura has reshuffled his cabinet, announcing Nomathemba Mokete as the new MEC of Health. Mokete is moving from social development. Her position in social development will be taken by Morakane Musupyo, who moves from economic development. The new economic development MEC is former Johannesburg Mayor Pakiso, who is currently serving as Deputy Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. And Pakiso will complete his work in Parliament. The ANC will complete its work and ensure that Pakiso is sworn in. The ANC will make sure that one of the members of the legislature is deployed from the legislature. And this is according to Mr. Makhura there. And just briefly, as he was briefing the media on that one.
The province and the leadership of the alliance and the national officials of the ANC is that this is a reshuffle that will strengthen Team Gauteng. For Parliament agents, he will complete his reporting this week to Parliament, and he will be sworn in next week as the new MEC for Economic Development in Gauteng. You know, Mr. Pakiso has got substantial governance experience as a citizen administrator. This support and intervention team that is going to be supporting the MEC, the new MEC for Health, will also look at driving our response to COVID right now. The surge and the real possibility of a big second wave is there. She has been holding the fort in the economy. We want to strengthen this area because food security and food relief is critical. Just during COVID, we were able to assist 2.8 million people in Gauteng with food relief.
What is the engagement plan? The second question is around, also yesterday, last night, we heard a lot of rumor about all the
looking at the whole organizational structure of health and look at how to strengthen our primary health care structures, how to ensure that the decentralization of responsibilities from the center to the base, how to strengthen institutional leadership.
Yeah, that's exactly what is happening there, and little sad about Dr. Bandile Masuku. So you'd remember that just former Gauteng Health MEC Dr. Bandile Masuku had also dusted off his boxing gloves and was preparing to fight the ANC over his temporary suspension from the party, where he was threatening to take legal actions against the Gauteng ANC to challenge his temporary suspensions, as he claims he was not afforded an opportunity to comment on the charges before he was suspended. His lawyer said that he was considering his legal options to protect his membership rights in line with the rules of the ANC and his constitution. According to his lawyer, some 20 days after his suspension, Masuku has not received his charge sheet from the Gauteng ANC's disciplinary committee. Meanwhile, Masuku's High Court application to review and set aside the SIU report that was used to sack him will be heard by a full bench of judges in January next year, his lawyer said. Yeah, 23 after 7 o'clock. That's exactly what's happened. You remember that, Premier Makura did mention that once Masuku has been absolved, he will bring him back. So we'll still wait to see. 23 minutes have gone since the hour 7 o'clock. Want to move to just a short break. When we come back, we have the gentleman discussing gender-based violence with us just on the line.
Grab your ears. Around 93.6. This is Tshwane FM 93.6. Check it out, y'all, right now. 93.6. The best.
Tshwane FM 93.6.
Hello, fellow brothers and sisters of the
What are you listening to? Tshwane FM, you donko.
Tshwane FM 93.6. 93.6. Grab your ears around 93.6.
Father, I'm truly thankful for the love, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the courage. Hallowed be thy name, glory to the King, for keeping my soul so safe. God has a plan for every human or animal living on the earth. What those life great gifts God gave was a gift to create life. Only never for local time, no lack of no way, and I see by the Susako. Inclusive young, you keep it young. This is something that's of Taliwami. Inclusive young, you keep it young. This is something that's of Taliwami. And she is the so nice. That I would last, it was caught up in my dark past. Never had an understanding of what love means. Only got warm for my mama Jenny, daddy, and my family. Stars curve, never look back for my Canada. Then my Canada, but then you were in my Mr. Dog till I take up. I'ma run my palms together, head down every day like nowhere. Will I ever get caught up in the trees that it finds? See, I'm dead on my big steady pines. I need your guidance in this world.
from. Say even little things pain, of course, to every living being. Show me the light so I can really glow. Give me the knowledge so I can really grow. God needs a positivity. Help me live a legacy. Every breath I take must be holy and most healthy. Open over my camera and I got praise to G-O-D, guiding everybody to the land. And those who trust in Him will forever see the promised land. Which is only
Pakiso. Hey, Pakiso. Please stay on the line, eh? Yeah? Sharp. Okay, do I have Kiamo on the line?
Yes, Pakiso.
Do I have Pakiso? Do I have Kiamo? Do I have Oscar?
Yes.
Okay. Awesomeness. So we have Pakiso, we have Kiamo, and Oscar. Please stay on the line, eh?
Okay, no problem.
Awesomeness. In that order, we'll go on air. Come on.
For He has done so very much for me. What shall I render to Jehovah? For He has done so very much for me.
Come on.
Surrender to Jehovah, for He has done. What shall I do to Jehovah?
39 minutes after 7 o'clock, Tshwane FM 93.6. This one is it's actually by Travis Green. It's a song titled Narekele Mo, just also praising the Lord. And of course, before that, we had the Spirit of Praise. That's a piece of featuring, the Spirit of Praise featuring a piece of song titled Andiyekele Lwangu. And before that, we jumped into another interesting song. This one was by the lovely Mokete Radebe. It's a song titled Soman Zwigcini Impilo Yami. Tshwane FM 93.6. We are the station that continues to rock you most. The Capital Talk, it's exactly where you are between the hours 6 and 8 p.m. It's a Wednesday. It's a lovely Wednesday. It is the socio-psychological aspects of the Capital Talk. The bigger discussion that we're having tonight is gender-based violence as we edge closer to the 16 days of activism against women and children. And that's exactly what we are tackling tonight. And there's actually a gentleman trending on Twitter. I don't think there's anything gentle about him, though. There's a man trending there. There's a video, and I'm just going to play it one more time. So if you just jump in the show, you can remember what we're talking about here.
With the slut that I am. The slut that I am. You stop, please, sending me messages.
Please, you failed.
Yeah, I failed to let you know that you must stop sending me messages on my personal WhatsApp. Send on the group chat like everyone else does.
I think as you can hear there in the background, this is the footage that is trending on Twitter as we speak about gender-based violence, as we edge closer to 16 days against, the abuse of women and children. This is, a man head as timber here on this footage, beating up the lady who it's assumed that she's cheating with people from a WhatsApp group there. And that's where the discussion also becomes pivotal. And on the line, we're now joined by Mr. Pakiso Motau. He's the counselor at the Tshwane University of Technology. We're joined by Pastor Oscar Rufaro as well, who's a man who was a youth pastor but now leading a church quite big in ministry as well. We're joined as well by Mr. Kiamu Masike from the Kiamu Foundation, also all about community development. Let me start with Mr. Pakiso. Pakiso, good evening and thank you so much for joining us, my brother.
Good evening, Mokete. Good evening to listeners. Good evening to everyone.
Thank you so much. Let me jump to Oscar. Oscar, good evening and thank you so much for joining us, Muruti.
Good evening, my brother, and good evening to the listeners. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Awesomeness. Good evening, my brother, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, Brother Mokete, and good evening to the listeners.
Awesomeness. Let me go back to Pakiso. Pakiso, we're speaking gender-based violence, but also looking at, as we edge closer to the 16 days against, 16 days of activism against women and children abuse. And I want to use the footage that I just played now as a basis of our discussion today to say, I think often what promotes, or rather what allows gender-based violence to continue manifesting in our space is the justification given to the reasons that prompt people to be angry and beat up, other people. For instance, the notion that if she's cheating, so and I think that's where it manifests from it. But I just want to come back and bring you as a leader in society. What do you make of this GBV, and how best do you think we can address this challenge, Pakiso?
Thank you for your question. Gender-based violence is everyone is affected by it directly and indirectly. So.
Correct.
Because if you can look at it, I think the society at large are looking on the physical and the sexual part.
Yes.
But it goes beyond because it's also psychological. And by the way, it's economical because people are violated economically because of the gender part.
Sure.
Because you are a gender A you can't be given an opportunity to participate in the economy. So it's GBV. It's not only sexual or physical, but in the society, you notice it mostly on the sexual and the physical part. We can have talks, seminars and matches as much as we care.
Yeah.
But at some point, we need to deal with this issue decisively and directly. I logged on Twitter 2 minutes ago. There's a guy called whoever that is trending.
Exactly.
Just abused the name just 2 minutes ago.
Is the one that was correct? Is the one that was just playing now the footage?
Yeah.
And that's sad.
And they are trying, the government, everyone, even yourself, they are trying to raise awareness.
Sure.
But if it happens right in front of us, it means we are trying, but it's not enough. And we can't justify. We need to support whoever is affected. And it's not only female, it's gender. Even males are affected by this issue. So my take is that we need to deal with these people decisive. The justice system should stop defending the women and children and even men. We can't have monsters running around the street. You can't. They deserve to be jailed. Because if we don't, this is going to get out of hand. Community is going to deal with it decisive. So my take is that you need to understand that it's not only sexually or physically.
Yeah.
Economically, as I speak, everyone is affected economically. You might not have the opportunity to participate in the business of your choice because of the gender. There's some work that as women cannot do because the job is still as a men's job. It's gender-based violence.
Correct.
Yeah, that's my take on the topic.
Before I move to Pastor Rufaro, let me jump into Kiamo. Kiamo, you deal quite a lot with community engagement. And I think largely the inequality that you've witnessed in the communities also perpetuates sometimes, this GBV, where you know that if Ntate Kontlung is the breadwinner and beats up mama and the child, they think, but let me bring you in. What's your contribution to this discussion, Kiamo?
Yeah, Brother Mokete, I think you just raised a very important point. I think I should start by saying we live in a society where both genders are in competition with each other, meaning that the male species and the female species will be competing with each other. But it also comes to the point of where we need to, the resolution to gender-based violence. I think we've had many seminars and we've had many talks about gender-based violence ever since they have started, I think even during the pandemic, we've been seeing the cases on national television and so forth. But up till this day, we don't have a solution, to gender-based violence.
Yeah.
Just today I was having a conversation with my friend about this thing, of saying the amount of energy or the amount of investment that we use in boxing these girls and being consistent in our theory, with the same energy we use in building our communities, building ourselves as men and building each other as brothers, supporting each other and actually devoting in building broken cause of masculinity that have taken so many of these women to grace and left families crying. Some of these people were single parenting. If you can check, there was a case of this lady who was brutally murdered in a tree. Her body was found in a tree. She was about to conceive a baby.
Sure.
The child now, the room is filled up with orphans, and it's not, I think the brother who is just touched about, it's not only a sexual factor, but it's also economic factor. I think that's also a valid point, but it also comes with us. It comes down to us, as men, how do we deal with ourselves? I think we have many untouched, problems, that emanate from our home states, problems that emanate from our family structure. I think those are the building blocks towards the system of gender-based violence. The reason why women are mistreated today is because as men, we haven't really found our cause, of actually finding ourselves in the spaces of the social and economic space that we live in today. So, I'm a founder of an NPO as well. So under our organization, we also have a policy that says women and children should become the first pioneers of importance, meaning that a criteria that we use under the banner of our organization of saying we want to empower these women, we want to give these women opportunities, we want to find other things as well to empower these women, and also focusing on the child aspect of the situation, because many of these kids are forced to live, or actually have to come to people situations at home. Is exposed to that they are hitting the mark. When we get there, when we come to reach out in our initiative, those are the stories that we are getting. So, but I think it's about time to get in as young activists, as young men in society, to say we need solutions more than discussions. We need initiatives, we need projects, more than discussion. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Let me bring in Pastor Rufaro. I like how Pakiso and Kiamo have actually spoke about the traditional trends that have been created by community leaders, and how the male species in our space have been unconsciously enabled to actually have a sense of entitlement on women. As men, we're so entitled, Pastor Rufaro, that even in churches, we perpetuated that I'm the head, man. Yes. I married her. I paid lobola. I'm the man, therefore I can lead. I know better. But we have that entitlement. Uchitela man, no, but I'm the man. You cannot question me, or at what time must I come back home? All those things. But let me bring you back. Opinion leader, you guys are guiding society through the church, but I know that there's also an event that is coming through. Just as you come in, just tell us about first the event that you guys are that is happening this weekend. What's happening on the event this coming weekend, and what exactly are you guys preaching in churches that makes men to beat up women?
Well, I start by laughing. Thank you so much for such a tough question you just given me. You ended it on a very high note. And let me start by talking about Saturday. This coming Saturday at 12, we are meeting 12 noon in Silverton. Our church is in Silverton, but there is a museum that's there in Silverton, so that's where we're going to be, nice garden and having a bride. And we're calling out all men to come and let's have a talk. And one of the things that we'll be talking about is what we are talking about now on radio. And this platform, like I said last week as well, is that it's not just a once-off gathering. We are trying to create a platform where men can talk, where men can open up and men can help each other. And this motivation also comes from there are men that I once knew. And there's one particularly, he's now grown to be very close to me. He used to be very abusive to his wife, but that man has changed. I'm talking to change to be the sweetest father, to be the sweetest husband. So one of the things that I would also bring into play as a source of gender-based violence, especially in line with physical abuse, emotional abuse that is inflicted by us men to our female counterparts and as well to our children. It's the source of it as well. It's how one is brought up. There are people that have got anger issues. And this anger, they will even display it not just on their wives or children, even on other men. So you realize that we are brought up differently. Let me raise this.
Sure.
We are brought up differently. And how we are brought up matters. I'll give an example of myself. I never saw my mother and father fighting for the 18 years, because my dad passed on when I was 18 years.
Sure.
So for the 18 years, I have known my parents living together. I never saw them fighting. I never saw them wearing long faces towards each other. I never saw them not speaking to each other. Now,
I hope they were not hiding it from you.
So I'm not sure if they were acting, but I remember the words of my father at one time he said to me, it's not that I don't have any misunderstandings with your mother, but we don't want those misunderstandings to be transferred to you. We have come up with a way to deal with our differences, which means they had created an environment conducive for our children, which means me, I'll give you a very, look, no matter how I can be angry, before even I got married, I was in some relationship, but I've never gotten angry that I can think of raising my hand. I can't. The only thing that comes into my mind is let's talk, or let me give you some time to cool down and we talk. I've never, to be honest, even with other men, when we have misunderstandings with guys growing up and all that.
Yeah.
I've never thought of resolving issues through fighting.
But what is it in churches that, or rather, what is it in community spaces that you guys as community leaders are spreading that makes men to think that, and I'm speaking about the previous generation, the current generation, that makes us as men to think that we are entitled to women. What is it, Councillor Pakiso? Come in, Pastor Oscar, and then Councillor Pakiso must come in afterwards.
Okay, one of the things that came into my mind when you were talking earlier, with the other guys when they came in, was that we as men, we are like lions. A lion. This is how we are trained, and this is how a lion is trained. When a lion sees a giraffe, no matter how tall a giraffe is, how big a giraffe is, it sees meat. When a lion sees an elephant, it sees meat, not an elephant. It doesn't see a huge animal. It sees meat. Now, that's the same mentality. The society has made us to be hunters. You are looking for a woman, so you hunt, you approach, and you are supposed to get what you are looking for. And that's a problem. And I've always said to this thing, one of the things we need to start to teach each other is this: you are not going to get everything you want in life.
Sure.
If you can start teaching that, which means if a lady says no to you, you will know how to walk away without you losing your manhood. But growing up, they made us to think if a lady says no to you, you are a loser. If a lady refuses to sleep with you, you are a loser. Your friends would actually laugh at you. He's got a girlfriend and you've never slept with her, so literally laugh at you. Where is that coming from? It's a lie that was entrenched in the society. Some gatherings, that taught us, okay, let me talk in the church, a setting. A church setting will never teach you to go hunt and sleep around. A church setting will never teach you that.
Sure.
It will teach you to be the head of family. It will teach you to be responsible. Now, the battle that the church faces, now I'm speaking on behalf of some brethren to say, one of the biggest battles that we face is our what we call African tradition versus the truth of the Word of God. When you try to teach some of the concepts that are found in the Word of God, they clash with tradition. A tradition will tell you, when your wife comes home, she must kneel down and give you food. Okay, what changes? Whether she's kneeling or standing and she gives you food, what really changes on that? But we have been told you must kneel down. We have been told the woman must wake up early, clean the house. And actually, I was having a conversation with my wife earlier on to say, what if you start going to work and you come back late and I come back early? Must I wait for you to come back and cook? Culture will make you, the wife must cook, she must do this. But the lady was at work. Times are different. Back then, look, our grandparents, women were always at home. Times have changed. So there's quite a lot of things that are going on. But like I said, this lion mentality, I think we need to revisit it. And the last thing is that you must understand, life will not give you everything you want. Life will not give you everything you've worked for. There are some things that you try by all means, but you won't get. And let us learn to live with that without lowering ourselves and thinking that we're failures.
Councillor Motau, I know that you've had a hand in change. In fact, you've led the student Christian organizations in your days of student leadership. But you are sitting in strategic office. What is it that you guys have realized about the strategic conceptualization of policies that are going to enable organizations to also influence society in terms of bringing about respect of women, but secondly, also helping men to realize that they are not entitled to women, but not just entitled. Going back to that issue that I was raising to Kiamoya, sometimes the systematic, exclusion of females in strategic positions and making sure that when we look at poverty, it is women that are likely suffering more than men, which makes them, victims of this gender-based violence. I mean, if you look at when you go to schools, I mean, it is young girls that get pregnant and that are forced to already, go into a relationship trying to settle, or hey, so I must just take whoever that comes in. What is it that, from a strategic point of view, that we need to conceptualize in terms of policies to actually just enforce this thing in our societies and in our communities?
Yeah, no, for me, what is my strategy or our strategic way forward?
Yeah.
To be honest, we need to create a safe environment amongst us. When I say us, I mean both genders.
Sure.
It cannot be right that the female stays for 5 years in a abusive relationship, and the day the lady starts to talk, when you ask her, why were you not talking, they say, I was afraid they will not believe me. So the first point of departure, as parents, as friends, as colleagues, we need to give our people the benefit of the doubt. Yes, there might be few that will want to ruin your life with life and all these things. But let's give these women the benefit of the doubt. At the end of the day, the truth will always come out.
Correct.
So they must not feel afraid to tell you, Rim, after one bed, you get me. And then these things have been happening with our parents. Long time ago. It's just that now the world has changed. We are seeing it with technology and all the social media, but our parents have been having forced marriage. It's gender-based violence. The uncles long time ago would drink and do all these things. It's just that they would not appear as they are doing now, because now the social media is making things fast. So. Let's just create a safe environment, even amongst us. You get me? And
I hear you.
As men were becoming rich day by day, this thing is done by cowards. Because these women are catching up.
Yeah.
They are working for themselves now. So men are threatening, they are cowards. They can't spend an appointment, they will take these women with cars and money. But these women now, they have their own cars and money.
And their cars are even beautiful than ours.
So we can't challenge these women intellectually. So now, over there, you get what I'm saying. So it's not a factors, but that's my take. There might be terrible women, feel free, talk. If it happens today, don't wait next week.
Yeah.
Before you deal with it. Magita must understand. I like what Murita will do. If she says no, it's no, my guy. Let's move forward.
Sure.
You are not entitled. Even if you take the ball. This person, I am red, you are not entitled. If she's saying no, even if you are married to her, it's a no. It's a ladder. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Let me go to Kiamo. Kiamo, your closing argument. And amongst your peers, Kiamo, it seems to be big. Why le shapa banyana go varsity, Kiamo? Le ba shapela banyana ba go varsity.
It doesn't happen that thing. I don't know of Washimano who has done that thing. But I want to come to the point where as he has never seen his father and his mother fight,
Yeah.
Many of these young boys, I think 90% of the population of young men in our society today are fatherless, Brother Mugid. I think that is one of the most important points that I think I need to raise today.
Yeah.
Many men have never seen their fathers play a fatherly role in their homestead. Many young men have never seen their fathers treat their mothers proper. So I think that is also one of the burning or building blocks rather creates anger many young men are angry and they have anger issues and all of those things, you know. Others have seen their fathers actually beat their mothers, you know, and you just told by your father for it, you dare say something to someone, you'll see Horotajak eye. I think those are serious sensitive issues that are happening in our society, and we need not to turn a blind eye on them, you know. But my basic argument will be that, you know, if you have an ex-girlfriend, you know, that you've never settled things with her properly, call her. You know, I think God is 15 years of activism. You need reconciliation rather than quarrels. You know, so call your ex if you sharp. Call your ex, you know, you know, if you have 6 girlfriends, you know, cut them and focus on one. You know, I think those are the serious things that we need to, you know, I think we need to be honest with ourselves, you know. This thing of saying, I have 2 girlfriends, 3 girlfriends, those are some of the things that, you know, contribute to, you know, these things. Because after I check, I won't give them attention outside. Ola, you know, I got some more fee, Ola, or you know how and all of that, you know. So if you have 8 girlfriends, cut them and focus on one. If you know, never settle the things with your ex, you know, just call her and just reconcile. Fathers that have, you know, left their kids in the bushes, you know, this Christmas, I urge all those fathers, you know, to reconnect with their sons and daughters that they've left in the bushes and actually reconnect with their loved ones. You know, I think if we can have that, at least it can give us direction, and it can also be a meaningful initiative, you know, moving forward.
6 after 8. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate your contribution. It's been an interesting evening with you. And I hope that next time, I think these are powerful contributions. I think what is needed, it's really for us to just have these voices and continue having this lovely discussion as we edge closer to the 16 days of activism against women and children. There's more brothers of ours out there who need to hear some of these, you know, powerful messages that I'm hearing from both of you. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
Awesome. No, thank you so much. Let's meet on Saturday. And don't forget, one of the things when we gather on Saturday, we are trying to have men becoming mentors. You know, Kiamu just raised something and it reminded me. One of part of our vision is we want to raise men to be mentors, because one of the biggest problems we're facing is fatherless children.
Sure.
Not that the fathers are dead, but they're absent. So we are trying to raise men that are going to be mentors. If I tell you my age and the men that I have mentored, it does not go together. So it's also the grace of the Lord. So we find so many men, they are longing for a voice of a father.
Indeed.
So let's also raise mentors, as many as we can in our society.
Indeed. I know Councillor Motau will definitely be blessing us. Bontate, thank you so much once more.
Thank you for the question, Brother Mokete.
7 after 8. Tshwane FM 93.6. This is exactly where we live it. Pebble City Nights is coming through between now at midnight. Powerful conversations with our brothers there. We are each other's keepers, and that's exactly how we want to manage this thing. We're not going to allow any of these challenges to become a problem in our society. We need to deal with this GBV once and for all. And this is where we leave it. As for me to you, more Marathos, tomorrow I'm back again. Same time, same place. We're looking at sports and the interesting things that are happening in that space.
cheese.